Welcome to Like, Love, Share by Babblebox, the show where marketers and creators go behind the post to unpack what actually drives attention, trust, and impact on social. We spotlight smart growth hacks, breakout campaigns, and real-world influencer case studies from emerging brands to cultural moments you might have missed. Whether you're building a brand, growing a platform, or shaping what's next in influencer marketing, Like, Love, Share is your source for ideas worth spreading. If you care about reach, relevance, and results, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Welcome to the show, Noam. I'm so excited to have you here. Please tell everyone about you, about Taylor Brands, and give us a little bit of background.
Yeah, so thank you, Sherry, so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. My name is Noam. I'm the head of media partnerships at Taylor Brands. I've been with the company for almost 5 years now, kind of started a big part of my career here, which I'm super proud to have done. I joined the team 5 years ago as part of the growing influencer team as a partnerships manager and slowly grew into leading the team and leading our social and our brand activations. So it's very exciting. I'm still doing influencers with my team, but now I kind of lead it. And yeah, if you don't know about Taylor Brands in a nutshell, we're a business building platform. We help people start and build their businesses. So the vision and the idea is, you come to Taylor Brands, you maybe don't know what to do. Maybe it's your first time being a business owner. And, I always say, I think there's like either you don't have any information or you have too much information, especially with, AI today. And I think even with too much information, you can still get lost. You could still, DIY and do things yourself. But at the end of the day, you want someone to guide you and to help you. And Taylor Brands comes in at that point for people who are starting businesses to kind of help and guide you at that moment where you need it most, especially at the start. And, also grow with Taylor Brands to actually build and grow your business. So, we have over 20 different services on the platform, starting from LLC services, formation, compliance, anything in that realm, legal aspect, and then also in the finance aspect, and also in branding and logos and websites and things like that. So we really kind of do it all. And we're adding services all the time. We've been around since 2015, so we've been around for a while. The story of how Taylor Brands came to be what it is today is a very interesting one. I'd be happy to tell it. But yeah, that's, I think, a bit about Taylor and a bit about myself. My background is influencer marketing. I did that at previous companies as well. And I kind of, like I said, came here to join an already growing team, and now I lead that team. So yeah.
That's exciting. So tell us a little bit about the story, because now you have us like the suspense.
Yeah. So I think I really love this story because I think it's a really interesting perspective on, how things came to be and how, Taylor Brands is a startup and how kind of it evolved into what it is today. So it was founded back in 2015 by three best friends, and each of them kind of had their own aspect. So we had, Yali, who was our CEO, and he's kind of like the head of everything. And then we had Tom, who's more on the graphic design and branding aspect, and his background in that. And then we have Nadav, who's kind of like the tech behind it. And the three of them kind of came together along with two other founders along the way and built in 2015 what then was the first AI logo maker. So, this is before
Wow.
this is before ChatGPT, this is before Canva, this is before all these things. And AI wasn't even a buzzword. So it was an AI logo maker. We still have that service today. It's like it's a legacy service on the platform. And back then, again, this is important, was very revolutionary. And you would type in a little prompt. I don't even think none of us knew what the word prompt was, right? But you would type in a prompt and it would kind of ask you a couple of questions about your business, and it would generate a logo for you. And along with that, branding and a website and everything you would need. And it came from the point where they were starting their own businesses, and they realized that like not everybody has access to, a one-on-one designer or, someone who can help, or a website builder, or someone that can kind of help you build everything from zero. And that's where the idea came. And that's what Taylor Brands was for 7 or 8 years. It was a logo maker. We were very known. And to this day, sometimes people still think that that's what we do, which again, we do have that service. It's one of many, but yeah, that was the main income for a really long time, logo and everything around branding. And it was kind of like build your brand presence. But the idea was always the same. It was how to, like, people who are just starting out, they need that guidance. It starts with logo. Now it starts with LLC, which is kind of like the natural next step. And today, you can still start your logo with Taylor Brands or your LLC. You can kind of start either way or from other services. But I love that story because what's interesting about it is we kind of shifted and pivoted into that from success, not from a different point of like something wasn't going well
Right.
or anything. It
Wasn't
was like
working.
it was very successful. And I think also, it happened in a moment like right before the AI boom and ChatGPT and all those things. So it was very interesting. And I think once those things came along, we realized how good of a decision that was. And today, we call Taylor Brands a business builder. So like I said, it's to start, manage, and grow your business. And the services that we add and look for are services that go under those categories. And it's not just the logo.
That is a lot to process, so
Yeah.
thank you. But it's an amazing story. And it was a lot before prompts because, people
Yeah.
really started looking at, the average person, and most people still don't even look at AI, right? If I
Right.
talk to my friends who are in, social workers or teachers, they're not like, no, But it brings up a good point because of the journey. And as you're talking, I'm thinking about when I started, and I started as a blogger and I didn't know what I was doing and everyone laughed at me and I had no help. And so to me, the question is, I really think that there's a lot of business platforms that offer solutions that never look at creators like a business unit. And I think it's
Right.
because they assume that it's a one person business, which it might be. But whether
Correct.
they're one person or two people or five people working on a media property, I think it's a massive missed opportunity. So, how do, not on the promotional side of your company, but as consumers, how do creators fit within your model?
So one, it 100% ties to the marketing aspect as well. And also that's my job. My team and I, we work with creators. And I'll just say this, that when we work with the creators, it's so fun because they naturally connect to the product because they are a business. Even if they're being a creator or an influencer as a side hustle, it's a business. Or maybe they're still working their 9 to 5 and that's something they do. It's a business. Or if they're doing it full time, it's a business. And it is usually one person. When they get bigger, it can be a team. But from that aspect, like that's how I learned a lot about the creator economy and being a creator as a business because I work with them. So I'm working with essentially with a business. And it's really great to see how they connect to the product when they're promoting it because a lot of the time they're like, I wish I had this when I started. Or you know what? I haven't gotten my LLC yet. Can I do with you guys? Like,
Oh, there's a lot
so
of,
it's
yeah.
it's a lot of education as well. Like some of them don't even know that they need to kind of establish these things as a creator. So I think today, and again, I got to kind of to see it from the side of just working with creators. It is 100% a business. And I think going back to your question, it's something that more and more people are realizing is a legitimate business as well. And I think, a lot of things in this economy with all these layoffs and people starting side hustles or working side hustles as they're doing 9 to 5, like a lot of people are doing this part-time, but they still need to kind of have it official. And a lot of the creators that I follow on a personal level, I really like to follow people who kind of show their day to day and their 9 to 5 because, that's what I relate to as someone who works in a corporate job. It's just content that I personally like to watch. A lot like these girls are doing it, as a side hustle. So, I mean, and a lot of them at one point you'll follow their vlogs, and at one point they'll be like, I left my 9 to 5. I'm a full-time
Yeah.
creator now. So, I mean, if that's not
It's
a business,
amazing to see even
like,
like nurses and teachers. I'm
yeah,
like, we left our jobs because now this is what we're doing.
100%. So I think, it's very clear that it's 100% a way to make income and a business. And I think, uh, again, I'm coming from the side that I work with these people. So I know how important it is for a company and a brand to work with influencers and how much it's valuable for a brand to do it. But even if brands that don't dabble into influencer marketing, which I think is super rare today, it's something that they'll touch it at one point. Even if it's just a UGC creator who's more of like an actor in a way, that's still a creator who's creating content for you. You're paying them for that content. That's a business, right? They're giving you a service. So I think it's 100% a legitimate business and it's something that the industry is understanding. And I think it's something even if you say it today to to your grandma, she'll like, I don't know if she'll know what it is, but like it's more legit because they're everywhere. Content creators are everywhere, whether we consume it with a knowing idea of what we're watching or we think it's an actor or not. You know what I mean? It's everywhere.
It is everywhere. I'm curious, like, what do you see from a creator standpoint is the entry point or the most popular tool that they need? Like, where do you see the biggest, like, what are their needs?
I think that in terms of starting out, I think a lot of people can really just do like just share their authentic, life and really focus on creating content that is unique to them And you don't have to like invent the wheel, right? You can just kind of film your day. I think that content is so popular. Again, it's the content that I personally like to watch. So, being unique online is something that is really valuable. It always has been. And people are going viral for random things all the time. You never know. And I think you just have to kind of start, and you don't really need anything special. Just start creating content, start figuring out what your voice is. And especially if you want to start working with brands at one point, the brands will find you based on the content that you post. Like that's how we source influencers as well. We can talk about that. But that's the first thing I look at is like, what does your page look like? What are you creating? So I think if you want to make it a business, your need is to kind of start putting things out there. Like that's the first thing you need. And the second thing, because I work at Taylor Brands, I'm going to say this, is obviously make sure that you're legitimizing it from day one, whether that's getting your LLC, getting everything set up the right way, get help, talk to people, do your research, use,
Where do you
platform.
see influencers need the most help when they reach out to you? Like, do they come in because they need an LLC? Do they come in because they need branding? They're so talented, so everyone's different.
Right.
But is there a specific, we see that most influencers who come our way, it's because they need this, or we see that most influencers are forgetting to do this and they need help there?
Yeah. So I think to that question, it's 100% like the LLC and the legal aspects. I think the branding and, the more creative stuff, they usually have it down, or they already have some type of like, vibe and voice. I think with the LLC and compliance, it's something that you never know. Most people, not only creators, you never know like when is the right time to do it. And there isn't a right time. It's really, personal to each case. But that's something that you 100% need to have just in case something happens. And when creators reach out to us, whether to work with us or to help them, they usually ask about that stuff. Or if they saw other content that we do with other creators, it's creators educating about why you need that. And I think, again, not only to creators, to anyone, you have to kind of understand what you're getting yourself into when you have a business and you have revenue. And you should definitely get your LLC and all the things that come along with it established as early as possible, just so that you're professional from day one, you're set up from day one. Using a platforms like Taylor Brands is going to guide you. You're going to do it right the first time, and you don't have to kind of get into this place where you really don't know what to do. So I think like the legal compliance and the finance stuff are things that creators don't think about from day one, but it is really important once you start generating meaningful revenue to have.
Yeah, and I want to bring up something else, and I don't know if you cover it. So online could be a really crazy place. Do you deal at all with insurance? Because there's like certain kinds of like social media insurance, like in case something happens, do you do any of that?
I can't speak to like specific things we have, as I'm not 100% sure, but we do have insurance on the platform, and you're able to kind of do that through us as well. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to ask a little bit more because I want to understand. It sounds like you have a very busy day over there, and I want to understand what a day in the life of you, because you kept saying, I love the day in the life. So what does a day in the life for you look like?
Yeah, so like I said, every day is different, and I lead the team now. So I manage a team of two amazing women, our social media manager and our influencer marketing manager, partnership manager. So us three are kind of like, I was gonna say a dynamic duo, but we're not a duo. Dynamic three of kind of dealing with anything that has to do with sponsorships, marketing, everything that doesn't fall under any other team kind of goes through us. But my day specifically is kind of, I open my day and I kind of look at where we are in terms of the month, in terms of performance. Like we're very connected to the performance aspect of Taylor Brands as well. We're kind of in the middle between our creative process and our acquisition and performance. It's a really interesting team point to be in our team. So I kind of open the day and kind of look at at the performance and how we did the day before and how things looked from our partners, our affiliates, our influencers, which are a big salad of different people that we work with. Kind of see if there's any interesting new things that came in overnight in terms of partnerships that reach out to us or people that want to join our affiliate program. I talk with the team, see what we're working on this month. We kind of work in a monthly plan. So it's always kind of just being in touch with the girls and okay, what are we working on this month? Where are you with the influencers that we closed this month? Do you need more budget? Do we need to move people? Do we need to bump people? Where are we? Just kind of keeping tabs on, what we're doing. Our social media strategy as well and creative strategy is something that one of my team members does as well. So it's kind of just, keeping up with her and what she's doing. And then there's the rest of my days kind of talking to leadership and connecting those dots to the bigger picture and bigger strategic projects that we're working on that involve partners and involve sponsorships in any way or form, or if there's like a bigger project that's going on and they're thinking of an influencer for it. So I'll come in, before the team comes in, I'll talk to that stakeholder, that leadership person, and be like, okay, how can we connect my team to it? What do you need from us? And kind of being like a service provider internally for those needs. And also any type of like more PR branding stuff like that
I'm
is things
making notes.
that
I have questions and I want to
yeah,
ask.
PR and branding and things like that kind of put Taylor Brands out there is something that also goes through me and the team.
Amazing. So I wanted to ask you because you made me think of something. So TikTok for a service brand, what do you do? How are you mastering that? Have you mastered that? Is it challenging? Because like there's nothing, I mean, we know what we do, but I'm curious, if
Yeah.
there's successes that you've seen with TikTok and Marketplace and Shop and etc.
So shop we don't do, but it's just not relevant for this type of product yet, unless they do.
Can be. It
It
can
can
be.
it can be. To this day, we still haven't done it. Maybe one day. But in terms of TikTok, I just prefer the team and I. We really like the content and the searchable aspect of TikTok. Like again, for my personal consumer aspect, I use TikTok to find a lot of different things. I just prefer the search there. And that's a really great way for us to source creators and find creators that are blowing up on TikTok and how we can fit them to Taylor Brands. So the success that we see on there is really through really good content and finding really good creators that will work with them to promote Taylor Brands. And also a big aspect of what we do is using those things for paid media. So we'll always work with our creators in most cases and work with them also on content that we can use it for paid media. And there we have found a lot of success, not only on TikTok, on all kind of short form social platforms, but TikTok is a main driver of that because that's how we're finding our creators and the really, really good content. So, when I'm talking paid media, I'm talking about obviously, our ads that we put money on and that we, look for conversions in the product. So that's something that we're very big on. And TikTok is a big part of how we get to those really good content ads, I would say, with the creators. And that's kind of the success that we've seen there, just finding creators.
That's amazing because I think a lot, and I'm going to go into the B2B side of it, right? A lot of B2B marketers are staying away. They don't know how to tackle it. They
Yeah.
don't know what to do there. And I think that's really great. And then it leads me to ask the next question on the B2B side. Is there anything creatively that you've done that you're proud of that's different than what most B2B companies are doing? Because I think that there's a lag.
Yeah, I mean, we are B2B in the term that we are, working with businesses, but it's small businesses or even solopreneurs. So a lot of times it's a little bit more
Creative.
B2C in the tactic of the marketing. And I think that's what's unique, that we don't, people will think or colleagues will think or people from outside will think, oh, they're a B2B company. And you can say that, but at the end of the day, like our marketing, we look at it from a B2C perspective and we take a lot of inspiration from D2C brands because of the way that, and I think that's unique. Like that's what makes us be able to connect to anyone who wants to start a business and get them to be interested in the content that we push, whether that's through paid media or through our influencers. But I think something that I'm really proud of is something that we call, and we did a couple creatives in this realm, we call it like the honest approach, where we kind of come to, and we do this with influencers, we did this with in-house creatives and things like that, where, we're saying kind of in your face, yes, you can create a business on your own. We're super honest about that. We're not hiding that. But you could also use Taylor Brands if you wanted to. And then we kind of, sell and pitch ourselves in the way of, why you should do it with a platform. But at the end of the day, you can 100% do a DIY. And that's something that we actually got from our comments. A lot of times people comment on, content that we do, I did it myself and it was great. That's amazing. Like you can do it yourself. We're not hiding that. That's kind of like the honest approach, right? But you could use Taylor Brands and this is why you should use it. But, and obviously, that goes into kind of like any classic ad. But we really really liked how this came to be, where like I said, it came from the comments and we're like, you know what, we should just say like, we're not hiding that you could do it yourself. You can 100% do it yourself. But, there's reasons why you can choose to use Taylor Brands and, leave it up to the consumer. And I think when you come with that approach, it's very unique
Honest.
and yeah, honest. Like there's no other word to describe it. Like it's very clear what we offer. And when a user or a customer, comes to our platform, they can kind of pick and choose what they want to do. And that's how Taylor Brands works. So it's kind of just bundling everything into one approach. And we end up doing that type of creative in many different ways. like that type of content with many different creators and many different variations, and we call it the honest approach, and we always go back to it because it's like it was really like a pivotal moment of we don't need to do the classic ads, with the UI in the background and the green screen, which we do. We can do it a little more authentic and just like straightforward. Like look in the
Right.
camera and straightforward.
So I think that there's a lot of steps that people miss, right? And so you could do it yourself, but having lived and breathed and built what I do from scratch, I don't know everything, right? And so you can miss something, a nuance, a step, an important thing that you have to do. So
Right.
I think it's important to have the structure and the help and the support. So that leads me to asking about AI because I know that you have new tools with AI. And again, it's like, where are you with AI? What are some of your new tools? And yeah, would love to hear more about that.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously AI is everywhere. It's not a secret, and we integrate into the platform from day one. Like I said, even in 2015, we were an AI logo maker, which is insane to think about. But today we have Navi, which is our AI co-founder, and it's what's unique about it is it's kind of powering Tailor brands everywhere. You meet it when you're using Tailor brands, you meet Navi throughout the whole process and in different places in the process. And it really is your AI co-founder because you could talk to it about anything just like you normally would with any type of chat. But the good thing about it is that if you're already using Tailor brands, you have Navi with you and it's already connected to your standings. It's already connected to your business. It already knows your business. So
It
you're
learns
able
about each person uniquely. It's not just a general.
Exactly. So you're able to kind of ask it about specific things to your business. And also, people come to Tailor Brands to get their LLC. So it's able to kind of know where that stands at any point and, all the compliance that goes along with it. So it really is just an extension of what we already are doing. And we're constantly evolving it, constantly adding more features to it. And I don't even know where it's going to be tomorrow or in 2 months, but
But who knows? Yeah.
yeah, it's a really great extension of, what the platform was already doing. And it's something that, the customer, the user meets kind of throughout the Tailor Brands journey. Yeah, and it's evolving every day. It's really exciting. And I think like the fact that you don't have to, put in your information and put in your business and tell it kind of the story from day one, like it already knows everything, once you're in there. So it saves a lot of time and yeah, there's more things coming with that.
So I've been, in the past few months, I have everyone calling me panicking for me, which is very nice, saying, "Oh my God, AI influencers are going to shut your business. You're never going to succeed. You better stop doing what you're doing." And, I just listen and I take it all in. But what is your stance on AI influencers? Because obviously they're there and they work, but what's your stance?
Yeah. So I think that it's something that's gonna happen, and like you said, it's there. I don't think it's ever gonna like take over. I could be wrong, but I really think that people are still really looking for real. Like I think even more now. Like,
Human connection.
human connection, and it's so easy for most people. I don't know for my grandma, but for most people to spot AI from far away. And we use it in our ads, influencers use it. It's fine. It's great and it works. It works and all good. But I think that it's never really going to take over because people are still really want that human connection, and there's always going to be a need for something real. I think that's been the thing with influencer marketing from day one. Like you want to, even when YouTubers blew up in the 2010s, like you're watching people clean their house. Like, you would never think that'd be interesting. But I love those videos to this day. Like I'm a YouTube kid.
Cathartic.
Yeah, and I don't think I'll ever want to stop because I want to see people who are like me, or I want to connect to someone who is real. So I think it's like it's never gonna have that unless it gets to a point where, it's super scary. We don't know what's gonna happen. But
Right.
I don't think it's gonna take over like people think. And if anything, it's gonna be an extension of influencer marketing. But I mean, I don't know if you've seen like the analog bag, analog trend. People are looking to do
Oh,
hobbies.
I'm on that. We
Yeah,
are
me.
we are doing a whole bunch of analog stuff right now.
Yeah,
That's coming up.
Gen Z's, going back to their iPods
Mail,
and like
mail, yeah.
there's it's so I think that like that just proves to me that that's gonna go bigger. Like
It's a
not,
good thing because I'm not ready to retire. And I was
yeah,
like, I had people calling me
100%.
freaking out. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for everything. Before I go to my last question, I want to ask you, where could people find you? Where's the company? What's the best way to, access?
Yeah, so we're Tailor Brands all over social media. On Instagram, we are Tailor with an I, Tailor. And yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn with my full name if you want to connect. And obviously, like I said, the company, you can go to taylorbrands.com and find our socials. And if you're, I don't know who's listening, if there's any influencers out there or people who want to work with us, you're
Yeah.
more than welcome to join our affiliate program and reach out to our team. We're always sourcing and looking for creators to work with. So we'd love to talk to you. And yeah.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to ask the last question, answered or not, but name an influencer that you love to follow but hate to admit that you do.
Yeah, so I thought about this as I was prepping. I don't know if I hate to admit because I really am like a TikTok loving person and like every single reference that I make is from TikTok. I really love the twins, Bridget and Danielle, Acquired
Okay.
Style. I don't hate to admit it. I love them. I'm a twin, so me and my sister always kind of send, they're much younger than me, I think, but me and my sister always kind of send each other videos of them of like funny things that they do to each other because we really relate to it. Also, they like I just like see a lot of myself in them. So I mean, I think some people don't love them because they're very, outgoing and out there and like, that whole brand trip that Bridget did for her wedding, for her bachelorette was like pretty insane. But I mean, I can't say I really hate to follow them, but I love their content.
Love.
And like the New York influencers, it's like I think that they're the queens of that. So them, I
Awesome.
guess.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. It was lovely having you here.
Thank you
And
so much.
anyone, just follow Taylor Brands. They could
Yeah.
definitely be of help, and it's a great platform to take a look at. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sherry.